So Graeme, what does it mean for the Open to come back to Portrush after all these years?
I think it's very special for the Open Championship to return to this part of the world. The only time that it's ever been held outside of England and Scotland was 1951, and growing up around here, I think we always knew about the myth and the legend of the 51 Open and Max Faulkner, and to see it coming back here is a very special thing for this part of the world, and really for the whole island of Ireland. Really, from a golf point of view, it's a special thing, and I think we can execute a really successful Open Championship here.
This course is obviously very close to your heart. What's your best memory of being out here?
I think growing up in the town of Portrush, I mean, obviously very lucky, very special to have this type of golf course in my backyard. Inevitable that I would play the game of golf at some point, and I fell in love with it right away. I think my earliest memories were probably summer evenings, my first time ever playing a couple of holes, on the Dunluce links here at Royal Portrush, and I really felt like I was at Augusta. I felt like I was at one of the most special golf courses in the world, and it's always been a golf course that's it's featured very highly on my list of favourites.
You've won the US Open, you've won a Ryder Cup. Is just the fact that the Open and being able to play in it in Portrush going to be on the same par with those achievements in your career?
Yeah, I think to play an Open Championship here in my hometown of Portrush in front of my home fans and family, certainly something I always dreamed about as a young boy. Like I say, growing up here with the myth of the 51 Open being here, to see it, to kind of gone through my career and turn pro, win the US Open, compete in major championships, have a chance to win an Open Championship a couple of times myself, and to have it come back here to Portrush, and just imagine being able to come here and compete, and perhaps maybe fulfill the crazy dream of lifting the Claret jug here on the 18th green at Royal Portrush. That would it's a lot to ask, but I'll certainly be working as hard as I possibly can to be in good shape coming in here next year.
What would it mean to win it at home?
To win, I was lucky enough to win the Irish Close here back in 2000. Here at Royal Portrush. To win the Open Championship anywhere would really be the icing on the cake for my career. To win at Royal Portrush is it's a wild dream, and obviously more of a reality than it ever was, with the fact that we're coming here, and my game continues to improve, and it would be something very special.
What sets the Open apart from all the other majors?
I think every major championship has its kind of unique identity. Augusta, we go back there every year. It has the history, tradition, the green jacket. The US Open and the US PGA, they have their individual little kind of thumbprints. But the Open Championship, I think it's just the noise. It's the aesthetics. It's the way the golf courses look. I mean, I think every player that's had a chance to play all the major championships really, you just hear the sounds and the feels and the smells nearly of the Open Championship. It just kind of has that really special feel. The crowds are educated. The fans know what a great shot is. They appreciate the game, and it's just special golf courses. So for a British and Irish player, I think the Open Championship is just has that extra special meaning. But the Open Championship just has the look, and it's just something a little different.
Rory holds the course record at 61 here, I believe. Brooks Koepka's caddy is actually from around here as well. How exciting will it be to be competing with some of those people at home?
Yeah, I always remember where I was when the first time I heard about Rory. He shot 61 here in the North of Ireland Championship. I'd heard a few rumours around him, but when I heard about that score, I was like, this kid's obviously legit, and he's the real deal. And he's obviously gone on to do amazing things, and I'm sure he'll be coming to Portrush at the Open Championship next year in 2019. He'd love to win it here as well. But Brooks Koepka, two-time US Open champion, a good friend of mine, and his caddy, one of my best friends, Ricky Elliott, who grew up in the town here of Portrush as well, and knows this links like the back of his hands, just like I do. And I'm sure they'll be coming over here, with a definite opportunity to come win an Open Championship.
There's been a lot of talk in the news about Phil and Tiger potentially playing in a £10 million match on live TV. What would be your ideal competitor if you were to do something similar?
Yeah, the head-to-head match between Tiger and Phil, it's a very interesting idea. $10 million would certainly capture the imagination. I'm not sure it means as much to Phil and Tiger as it would to the regular person, but it'll be a very special match. Maybe the rivalry isn't as strong as it used to be. It looks like they're trying to be mates now, and that maybe takes the edge off the match a little bit. But these head-to-head matches, we used to play them back in the old days. The old kind of kind of World Series where they used to put two great players together in different parts of the world. And we had the old made-for-TV events kind of back in the early 2000s, Battle of Bighorn and all that stuff. Great to see this kind of concept coming back into the imagination again. And for me, be one of the Irish players, maybe like a Rory or a Harrington or a Clark or something like that would be really fun. But I hope the match goes, and like I say, it should capture the imagination of people, and perhaps there'll be more of them going forward.
If you were to construct the perfect golfer and there was three components, so strength of mind, driving and short game, who would your three, what skills would you take from each golfer that you've competed against?
Yeah, if you were putting the perfect golfer together, from a driving point of view, I think Rory McIlroy is pretty, as good a driver of the ball as I've ever seen. From a mind point of view, you'd probably go with Tiger's mind. When he was at his best, he was just invincible. He was unbeatable. He just had that. He had that focus. He could go to a place that not many players can go to. And from a putting point of view, you'd be looking like a Crenshaw or a Faxon or someone like that. I mean, I think if you could have Crenshaw's putting stroke on Tiger's mind, that would be very special. And having Rory hitting the drives, that guy would win a few majors.
You're going to have an influence on putting some golfers together as a vice captain in the Ryder Cup. How excited are you for this different perspective?
Yeah, the Ryder Cup vice captaincy is a lot of fun. At 38 years old, it's it was an interesting one. Obviously not ruling myself out of playing more Ryder Cups, but certainly to be involved this year. Thomas Bjorn, the captain's a good friend. Paris Nationals, a golf course I have a lot of experience on and know it well. And I've enjoyed the leadership side of the Ryder Cup. As I've gone through, I've played 4 Ryder Cups. From being a rookie to my last Ryder Cup, where I was tasked with one of the rookies and kind of helping him through the week. So I'm really excited to what I can bring, hopefully, to the team, and obviously going to Paris and trying to win the Ryder Cup back. That's what the goal is for Team Europe, and looking forward to being part of that.
Hopefully you won't be flying with Air France anyway over to Paris. It was a difficult week in the build-up to the Irish Open. A lot of public outcry and stuff. Did it frustrate you?
The whole Air France kind of losing my bag scenario was it was a frustrating start to the week. I mean, I had the Open qualifier on Tuesday at St Anne's Old Links down there on the west coast of England, and having no golf clubs, I had to pull the ripcord on that, unfortunately, and it meant that I spent 48 hours without my clubs, and it wasn't the ideal preparation for the Irish Open, but thankfully they arrived on Wednesday morning just before the Pro-Am, and I was able to prepare like I normally would, really, and it didn't impact my performance at all at the Irish Open. It was it was a little mental frustration early in the week, but we got the job done, and these things happen. You fly enough, you're going to lose a bag or two.
Why should people travel to the Open in Portrush?
Why should people come here to the Open at Portrush? Because it's going to be, it's going to be so well supported. I think the atmosphere will be amazing. The links here at Dunluce Links at Royal Portrush, it's going to be a fantastic test of golf. Obviously, the best players in the world will be here, and the north coast of Ireland is so beautiful. But I just think it will really capture the imagination of the fans to have the Open Championship back on the island of Ireland for the first time since 1951. It'll be a buzz, and there'll be a lot of excitement here.
Is it the one thing that if you could select anything to win for the rest of your career, would you finish a happy man?
Yeah, I think if I had one more event left to win the Open Championship in 2019 at Royal Portrush, I'd be happy just to hang the clubs up after that and say, right, I'm out.